We're back! Hello, if you don't know who I am, my name is Anne. It is nice to meet you. So I did a video, which I'm recording these back to back, so it's a little weird for me to be talking like in the present tense, or in the future tense, like the videos were like so long ago. But I just did, videos on my psychogenic seizures and my dystonia, and I did an unexpectedly long video on my asthma. So in this video, I'm going to go into my schizophrenia and what that means, and I'm going to get a drink because I am parched. Much better. So I'm going to go into my schizophrenia and what that means, what it does not mean, and I'm expecting the schizophrenia talk to potentially be a couple of videos long, because there's a lot of misconception around schizophrenia, and I want to address some of this stuff, and some of these things that I'm going to address are actual literal questions that I've gotten from people, from an ignorant standpoint. And ignorant doesn't always necessarily mean something negative. It just means like they don't know. They just simply don't know when they're asking me these questions. So hopefully I will sort of answer some of these questions for you guys and, clear up any misunderstandings. I hear a lot of times when I first tell people that I have schizophrenia, there's a few reactions that I normally come across. Excuse me. Sometimes they're like, what is that? I don't know what that is. Like, I've heard the word, but I don't really know what that is. Which is great. I love that reaction because it means that they're open and honest about not really knowing what it is, and they're willing to hear my sort of explanation of what it is. So I really love that reaction when people are like, well, what is that? Tell me more. Another reaction I sometimes get is people give me this, like, look. Like, sort of like, if you're watching, or I guess if you're listening to this and you have visual impairments, the look that I just had on my face was like, you're what now? And I hope that sort of conveyed it decently over audio formats. Anyway, sorry, I just bumped the table again and it moved my camera. Anyway, so I get sort of that you're what now kind of look, and sometimes I'll also get this initial reaction of like people suddenly don't want to talk to me and they'll make up some excuse for why they have to go away very suddenly, because they're afraid. There's sometimes a very serious reaction with people when I say I have schizophrenia, and a lot of the times people are very afraid because they don't know what schizophrenia is, or they don't know what it really is, and all they have to go on is the media's portrayal of schizophrenia and mental illness in general, which, in my opinion, is atrocious. But I don't make the rules. Sometimes that's probably a good thing. Anyway, so what schizophrenia is okay. Not everybody experiences schizophrenia in the same way. So someone else with my same diagnosis will experience schizophrenia differently than me. There's some basic diagnostic criteria where the DSM-5, the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental and Psychological Disorders. I think that's the whole title. I could be getting that wrong. I know DSM stands for Diagnostical and Statistical Manual. Anyway, it's like the shorthand guidebook of mental illnesses. So anyway, the DSM-5 lists out a certain diagnosing criteria for what schizophrenia is, and I'm actually going to look that up so that I don't butcher that, because I will accidentally leave something out, or I will get something very wrong because I'm going from memory here, and sometimes my memory isn't the greatest. I have to go to find it. This is not what I want. Okay, I can't find it quickly, so I'm not gonna even try. I'll put it in the description though, because that is very important information to know. I'm just probably not gonna get it right going just from memory. I know hallucinations, delusions, disorganized thoughts and speech. And there's a couple of other ones. I don't remember what they are. I apologize. But the main ones are the hallucinations, the delusions, and disorganized thoughts of speech. According to the DSM-5, which is the shorthand for everything, you have to meet at least two or three of that, like, I think it's 5 or 6 diagnostic criteria list. You have to meet like 2 or 3 of those in order to be diagnosed with schizophrenia. I think it's 3. So not everybody experiences schizophrenia in the same way. I know that my hallucinations, I know 90% of the time that my hallucinations are not real. And I say that because there are some times when I hallucinate things that could very well potentially be real. Like, I sometimes hallucinate spiders that look very real, but aren't. I do not like spiders. I am very terrified of spiders. Spiders are a huge trigger for my psychosis. So I see an image of a spider, somebody starts talking about spiders in a little bit too specific details. It triggers my psychosis. So then I start hallucinating things. If I see a spider that looks like it could be real, my initial reaction is, "Ooh, a spider." And then my secondary reaction is that a real spider or is that a fake spider? So one of the ways that I can tell if what I'm hallucinating is real or not is I take my glasses off. And if what I'm hallucinating is a hallucination, it's still crystal clear, but everything else is blurry. But if it's not crystal clear and it's blurry with everything else, it's real. And if I see a real spider, then I allow myself to react more legitimately. That is for me my my cue that it is okay for me to scream and cry and run to Joseph or whoever else may be in the house and be like, "There's a spider, please kill it," because I'm too terrified to do it myself. So if I'm seeing something that I know is very obviously not real, like I've hallucinated people grow like spider mandibles and grow spider legs out of their back, which is terrifying. Very terrifying. But I'm so used to seeing this stuff now that, yes, it still scares me. It still makes my anxiety go like way through the roof, but I know that what I'm seeing isn't real. But telling myself that it's not real doesn't change the fact that I'm still seeing it. And one of the things that I get people say to me all the time is like, well, you just have to tell yourself it's not real. Like, it's all in your head. I'm like, yes. Yes, it is all in my head. Thank you for telling me something that I did not know. Very astute of you. Telling myself that it's not real does not make it go away. If my grounding exercises, which a grounding exercise, for those of you who don't know, is an exercise that take many different shapes and forms that you walk yourself through or somebody else walks you through in order to calm down anxiety or psychosis or panic attack and anything like that. If my grounding techniques aren't working, then I do my best to try to sleep it off. Excuse me. I am actually going to stop there and do this in another video. I don't want these to go so long that you guys can't do these in like one sitting. So I'm just going to stop there and continue this in the next video. So stay tuned.